following presentation is solely for entertainment purposes and not to be taken seriously. While content and characters may be based in truth, this presentation is not meant to offend or harm in any way.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I totally screwed or what?
Well, hello there.
Hey!
What y'all be doing? Well, you're probably wondering why I'm scratching my head like there's no tomorrow.
You got it.
Well, it ain't 'cause I got the lice or the flaky scalp. No, sir, it sure ain't.
Woo!
It's 'cause of this darn tootin' coronavirus. Now they're saying something about a COVID-19.
Huh?
Well, what's that? I mean, it's so confusing. I just might need me some of that there itching powder before it's all over. I guess this corona thing is worse than drinking beer and getting a hangover. I don't know many folk that like to get sickly. No, sir, I don't. But I've come to find out that this ain't about corny jokes. It ain't about corn on the cob, and it ain't about corona beer. So what is it? We got to figure it out, folk. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Huh? Come on now. Now, y'all, I'm hearing so much mumbo-jumbo out there that I have to ask more questions and point out what I like to call the obvious. 'Cause not everything sticks to this here noggin here, and I don't get it. And I'm hoping I don't ever get it. You hear me?
You got it.
That's what I thought.
Blah, blah, blah.
Now, looky here. If you're listening to the news or reading the funny papers, you might have heard there's something out there called the WHO.
Huh?
Oh, that's right. You heard me correct, like the WHO. Hoo-hoo! Now what is that? A music group playing the rock and the roll? Or is it a bunch of owls? I don't know. I thought owls were hooters, not hooers. Hoot hoot, don't pollute.
Yeah.
Anywho, this group called the WHO is saying they're working with something called the C.D.C, which is another thing I don't understand. The C.D.C, it sounds familiar like, but I don't know what it is. Like the end of that patriotic song, America the Beautiful. Ha! From the sea to the shining sea.
Let me out of here!
Truth be told, I think this C.D.C is a schoolhouse where you get some kind of education, where you might learn your reading, writing, and lettering. Now, when folks be talking about the C.D.C, I'm like, yeah, I know it. Just show me the alphabet or a word with the letter C in it, and I'll point it out to you, 'cause I ain't blind. I can see to see much as anyone. In fact, there are two of them. C.D.C. Two. Oh, now hold on. Don't get punchy just yet. I realize I open my mouth too soon sometimes and the words just come flying out of me like a demon. But here's what I know. This WHO and the C.D.C are working together to remind people about something called social distancing. I thought folks were doing that already, what with burying their heads into their phones, tablets, and laptops. No one talks to one another like we do back home, not at all. But I guess I stand corrected, because these folks are saying we need to keep our distance and to keep the good hygiene.
Yes!
They be telling folks to stay indoors, wash their hands, wear masks, and don't touch your face. Cover your mouths and noses, especially if you're going to cough or sneeze, and to stay at least 3 to 6 feet away from one another. Well, I got me a few thoughts on that. Now, it come to me that washing your hands more often makes a bunch of sense. But that's a whole lot of soap and water down the drain, it is. So I got me some of these here green plastic gloves on. And if you wear gloves all the time, that might help. But boy, let me tell you what, my hands sweat like crazy. Ooh. Plus it makes it hard to pick your nose or clean the sleep buggers out of your eyes. Ooh, nasty.
Let me out of here!
I also got me a couple of masks to wear. Wasn't sure which ones to wear, because the only time I ever wore a mask was to go trick-or-treating. Should it be the wolf or the opera mask? I'm partial to Mr. Wolfie here myself. Okay, now riddle me this. How are you supposed to cover your mouth and your nose every time you cough or sneeze if you can't even touch your face? Just saying, that don't make no sense. In regard to the 6-footer rule, I got this here measuring tape. This here is 6 feet. That's 6 feet tall. That's bigger than me. It sure is. Well, that's probably easier said than done. But I did find me this here hula hoop, and I'm going to experiment with it. This is the biggest hula hoop I could find. I guess I'm going to have to stick it in the oven and warm it up a bit and then stretch it out to make it at least 6 feet. But in the meantime, imagine yourself all strapped in and walking around behaving like bumper cars. Excuse me, pardon me, don't want to get too close, buddy. Look out, coming through, get out of my way. And the next thing you know, they'll be trying to sell us insurance because folks be crashing into one another all the time. But hey, at least you're 6 feet apart, right? You can also put yourself in a bubble that wraps you up in a single protective garment like this one right here. Ooh, Phew. Putting all this stuff on is quite a sight and it's a lot of work. But I figure that's what it looks like trying to stick to the rules. It's a lot and it's exhausting.
Yes!
On that note, I'm going to have to take a break and cool my jets for a bit. Okay, dokey? Don't you worry none, I'll gab at you again real soon like. Until then, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye now.